when you find out the lengths to which permanent Washington is going to, say, sabotage Tulsi Gabbard.
Many of us were excited when it was announced that Tulsi Gabbard, a previous Democrat and a woman who was considered somewhat radical, was embraced by the MAGA movement. It was an indicator that this was a new type of politics. Along with RFK, Tulsi Gabbard changed the complexion and conception of the Republican MAGA movement. Will she be confirmed? Because former CIA director, who was CIA director, in fact, under Barack Obama, John Brennan, has demanded that the Senate not confirm Tulsi Gabbard. Is this an indication that this new government will be meet the new boss, same as the old boss, same old globalism under a new hue? Or will Tulsi Gabbard and RFK and many of the other members of this new MAGA Maha movement that inspired optimism and hope outside of the usual demographic of Trump MAGA supporters, will they actually reach power, or will they be hobbled, hamstrung and prevented from reaching their democratically appointed destinations, actually?
I like to think that, Secretary of State Rubio, who is very familiar with the intelligence profession, is going to be speaking up, because you have the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, the Attorney General, others who are going to be there. So you want to make sure, again, that you have people who are informed, but also people who want to know the truth.
Right.
And not just people who want to give President Trump what he wants to hear. That is so dangerous. And none of the 6 presidents that I work for ever wanted the intelligence community to give them what they wanted. They wanted the intelligence community to give them what they needed, and then they can make the appropriate policy decisions.
Let's have a look what Tucker Carlson and Matt Taibbi say. Matt Taibbi, is one of the Twitter Files journalists and frequent guest on this show. And of course, Tucker Carlson is a pretty famous person. Here's them discussing, in particular, the appointment of Tulsi Gabbard and its significance, in case that piece of punditry from John Brennan was insufficient to help you formulate your own understanding.
There's panic. I sense panic. And I sense it in some of these confirmation battles, particularly the sort of offline stuff that you don't see in the media, but just when you find out the lengths to which permanent Washington is going to, say, sabotage Tulsi Gabbard, who's an Army officer who's had a clearance for more than a decade, carries an automatic weapon.
I like the detail that she carries an automatic weapon. Do you? Because I've met Tulsi Gabbard a few times. Just then I was like, oh, she was packing during that. That's cool. Also, though, the important thing to consider is the presence of a permanent Washington that is able to resist and rebuke the will of the people. And because, again, I know Tulsi Gabbard, I feel that she's precisely the sort of person that you should put in a position of power if you're not going to radically revise and alter the systems of power themselves. And I suppose in the military arena, if you have bureaucrats and administrators that don't have military experience, that's just not right. You can't have that, because it's so specifically, it's so intense, such an intense area, i.e. asking people to die for what they believe in, that you can't have people involved in that process that are not initiated.
And clearly we trust her with America's defense. Why can't we trust her with America's secrets? Well, of course we can. So what is this? And it really is, people are panicked that what they've been doing is going to come to light, I think.
Well, they should be panicked, because if you read the executive order on the weaponization of government, it specifically empowers the Director of National Intelligence to conduct a wide-ranging report into the possible misdeeds of the entire intelligence community, and orders her to come up with, anything negative that they can find.
Holy shit. So
can you imagine?
No.
Right? I mean, that's like trying to make a list of everything. She'll be doing it from now to the end of time. But no, I mean, in perfect seriousness, it's setting the stage for, kind of a second church committee hearings era. And that was a great moment in American history.
Once every 50 years.
Right.
What a great clip. That's really helped me to understand it, that there is a permanent class of bureaucrats that filter and vet appointments in order to ensure that what we call democracy, or at least see as a kind of electorally mandated set of decisions and systems is actually controlled from elsewhere. And occasionally we're lucky, we'll get symbols like Tulsi Gabbard or RFK that help us to monitor and understand that it may yet be possible to have people that are at least genuine in positions of power. And if that's resisted, then we'll have a deeper understanding of just how permanent the permanent state is, i.e. it can even withstand the apparent vicissitude of a transition from Biden to Trump. If that turns out to be irrelevant, guys, if it turns out it don't make much difference whether you have Biden or Trump, then we're going to have some pretty serious conversations about the nature of institutional power, aren't we? Because Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby Kennedy, I believe are sufficiently authentic and real that if they were in positions of real power, you would experience measurable change. Like if you were a person that understood the intelligence community in the way that Taibbi just described, or if you were a person that understood health in the way that we know that Kalimenes does, or pharmaceuticals and the legalistics around it in the way that Aaron Siri does, or the scientific aspect of it the way that Jay Bhattacharya and Marty Makari does. And I'm listing people who are now connected with government power to indicate to you my belief that those people in office with the levers of bureaucratic and administrative power will be able to augur change. And if they don't, something terrible is going on. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Whoa! How did that get there? Is that freedom straight out of my bowels and into your mouth? Don't dwell on that image. This is a delicious dark roast from 1775. It smells like freedom. Did you know that drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily can reduce your risk of death by 29%? No! And halve your chances of heart complications? No! But what's the point if your coffee tastes like it was brewed by someone who thinks soy lattes are the pinnacle of human achievement? 1775 Coffee is here to reclaim coffee from the wokarati, if such a thing is a word or a term even. Hand-picked Bolivian beans. Don't be disgusting. That is not a euphemism for, flicking your old. Roasted in the USA, delivering pure single-origin brilliance without a hint of deceit. Sweet, truthful coffee. It's coffee for those seeking truth, depth, and the clarity to see through life's illusions, which is me and you. Come on, get on board. The best part? Every dollar you spend enters you to win a blacked out 2024 Tesla Cybertruck plus $30,000 of cash. Now, apparently I'm going to be driving around in this Cybertruck. I'll believe it when I actually see it. Because I'm always getting told things like you're going to be driving around in a Cybertruck and they never ever appear. If this Cybertruck appears, that is going to be, you will see me drive it. I'm going to drive it in the water. I'm going to see if it works as Musk claims, as an amphibious vehicle that can also be launched into space. Let's test those claims. Head to 7075. Yes, a Cybertruck, a modern day Ark, ready to navigate the floods of uncertainty. Is this a metaphor? Was the Ark a metaphor? With the strength to carry you through any of life's trials. Head to 1775coffee.com, stock up and fuel your mornings with rebellion. Use this code for 15% off. Don't miss your chance to drive off in a Cybertruck and cash out with 30 grand. I mean, you can have a Cybertruck. We could all have Cybertrucks. Isn't that what we want? Coffee and Cybertrucks. Let's get back to the content. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.